All right, page 19, tutorial question 1. All right, determine the cost per cubic meter for excavation in bulk not exceeding 1.5 meters deep in stiff clay that has a bulking factor of 35% and cut to spoil by truck. All right, spoil by truck. What is spoil? Spoil is basically the material that was removed and we're cutting it away. All right, it's not like spoiled milk. It's excavated material and taken away. And we use a truck to do that. Assume overhaul is not measured. Now, overhaul is a concept that I want to bring in when we start with quantities. All right, there's a calculation attached to it and also a rule. So for now, let's ignore this. And please make this correction. Just remove this line, please. This line is actually confusing. All right, so moving on. The distance to the tip site is 1.5 kilometers and the tipping time is 3 minutes. Before we go any further, the distance is 1.5 kilometers. All right, so he has to go there and come back. So what's the distance? Think about that for the calculation. Don't make that mistake in ignoring the return trip. So this will be times 2. You'll see that in the calculation in a moment. The bankman costs $5 an hour. So this machine requires somebody walking on the ground to assist the operator. The following information is also available to the estimator. Okay, here we go. Half a cubic meter back actor, we know what to do with that. We need the tables, is used for excavation that costs that amount. Higher cost of a 6 cubic meter truck is $550 per day, right? So wet, what does wet mean? Wet mean it includes the fuel to run the machine and an operator to work the machine. So that's what wet rate means. Doesn't mean somebody took a hose or it was in the rain or anything like that. It means it has fuel and somebody to work it. That's what wet means in industry. Assuming an 8-hour day, there we go. I'm telling you, 8 hours. Don't use something else. All right, I hate assuming. Before I go any further, if you are forced to assume something in my test and exam, something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong on your part. I never let you assume anything simply because it changes the model answer. I'm not going to mark yours individually because you made an assumption. All right? In the test, if you find yourself requiring an assumption or forced to make an assumption, put your hand up and call me. And chances are I will be at the exam too. Call me. Okay? The above example assumes no waiting time for the excavator or the truck. If waiting time exists, this must be priced for. We're not doing that, so don't worry about it. All right, so let's look at a typical solution for this question. All right, let's start. Right, 8-hour working day. You got a back actor that is 0.5 meter cubed. Then page 18, what does it tell you, right? For a 0.5 meter cube machine, it has what? What is that? Here we go. 0.5 capability is 12. So it has a 12 meter cube per hour capability. Right. As the material is, as the machine is working in stiff clay, then apply a reduction factor of 12%. And where we got this from? Got this from page 17. All right, let's go to page 17. Let's go to page 17. There we go, page 17. Page 17. And we're working in stiff clay. So what we applying? We're applying 12. If it was weathered granite, then we would be applying 20. And if it was shale, we would be applying 25. So that's how I got 12%. All right, 12%. All right, let's go. 12. All right, what happened here? What happened here in this calculation? All right, we've got 12 cubic meters per hour, and we have a reduction of 12%. What does that mean? All right, so it's being reduced. Its capacity to work is being reduced by 12%. So 100% take out 12, what are we left with? 88%, which is actually 0.08. 12 times that. And now this is our new capacity. Remember, it was 12, all right? It was 12, and it reduced because we're working in harder material, which is clay, stiff clay. And now it dropped to 10.56. I want you to understand the actual practicality of it, right? Don't just memorize calculations. Right. Therefore, the cost to excavate and load, therefore, cost to excavate and load per meter cube is given by 57 Rand given 0.48 divided by 10.56 we got above, and this is our cost to excavate and load. However, due to the bulking factor, given 35%, how do we apply this to this question? But before we go there, what is bulking? What is bulking? Remember materials. I know you guys did materials because you did it with me. What is bulking? Bulking is the introduction of air voids. All right? If you dig a hole, depending on the type of material that was in that hole, and you put it back, you have some extras, isn't it? How come? Because you disturbed it, you introduced voids. So there's air in when you fill it up. That's why you got extra soil left. Now, how do we apply this concept to a calculation? If the bulking is 35%, it simply means 35% is air voids. So if we have a truck, right? If we have a truck, and this truck holds 10 meters cubed. So if we had to fill in materials, soil or excavated, there should be 10 cubic meters in, isn't it? But because it's disturbed, air voids, because of air voids, what happened? It still carries 10 cubic meters. It's soil plus air trapped in all those cavities. So in actual fact, is it 10 cubic meters? No, it's not. All right, it's 10 cubic meters minus 35%. All right, so let's put that into the calculation. All right, we said in the calculation in the question we've got a 6 cubic meter truck. All right, so 6 meter cube times 100% minus 35%. What you got? What do you got? Do the calculator. Right, 6 times 0.65, and you're left with 3.9 meter cubed. 3.9 meter cubed. That's all that exists in that truck due to a 35% bulking factor. If the bulking factor was lower, say 20%, you're going to have less voids. I want you to understand that concept. A lot of students get stuck here. I don't know why. All right, 100% minus 35% is 65%. 65 expressed as a number, 0.6. All right, let's go to the other items. Loading time. Three 3.9 divided by 10.56 times 60 minutes right, and we have a time of 22.16 minutes. Travel time, let's work that out. All right, tip site is 1.5 kilometers away. Therefore, a return trip will be let's do it easy. 1.5 times 2 will be 3.0 kilometers. That's our return trip to go and to come. All right, therefore, 3 kilometers divided by 30 kilometers per hour. Where 30 came from? 30 came from, that's the speed of the truck. 30 kilometers per hour times 60 minutes is equal to 6 minutes. Tip time is given as 3 minutes. Then the total time for the operation is what? All right, let's add them all up. 22.16 plus 6 plus 3, and you're getting a total of 131.6 minutes for a single operation. All right, let's look at cost of truck per load, which is basically, remember the 3.9 meter cube we calculated above? Right, what does it cost us to move that truck, right? Even though we're not moving 6 cubic meters, the air voids messed it up. What is it costing us to move that? All right, so let's look at it. If we hire this truck at 550 Rand per day, which is 8 hours, you're going to get the cost of 68.75, which is basically 550 divided by 8. Right, therefore, 31.16 over 60 times 68.75, and we're getting a cost of 35.7. And to end this example, he's saying then the cost of truck per meter cube is equal to 35.70 divided by 3.9 meter cube, and we're getting a cost of 9 Rand and 0.16 cents. Bringing the cost of the bankman, which is equal to 5 Rand per hour divided by 10.56, which is the capability of that machine, and we're getting a cost of 0.47 cents. Therefore, total cost is now 5.44 plus 9.16 plus 0.47, and it gives us a cost of 15 Rand and 6 cents per meter cube. That's it. Now, I can take this question one step further and say, here's the whole. 20, 10 goes in 15. All right, here's the whole. Here's the cost per meter cube that you calculate. What is the cost of this job? Easy. You know the volume times that, and you got the cost for that job. All right, so that's question 1.